Okay. Okay, let me check. Okay. If you can hear me, maybe you can try to input number 1 in the chat box. Just let me know, okay? Okay. So this is about the topic 1, and in the following 3 days, Teacher Mew and Teacher Apple, it's me, okay? We are going to share a few P2 GEP topics with you. So here, everyone, maybe now you can take out your GEP math book. Let's start from the first topic, which is about number and figure patterns. Okay, please take out your book. Take out your book and turn to page 1, number and figure patterns. Okay. So here, let's have a look. This is the first question. Dennis makes patterns from matchsticks as shown below. How many matchsticks does he need to make figure 12? So here, everyone, firstly, try to observe. You see that in figure 1, what can you see? Here is a triangle. And what about in figure 2? What can you see? Yes, good job. You can see 2 triangles, right? Okay, and what about in figure 3? We have 3 triangles. And actually, usually when it comes to figure pattern question, we try to observe the relationship between number of items and the figure number. So what is the number of items here? Actually, that is you try to figure out how many matchsticks do we need to form each figure. And for figure number, that is very obvious. We have a figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4. So the question is, how can we figure out the relationship here? Well, here, maybe you can try to draw a table. The table can make it much more clear to find the relationship here. So for example, in figure 1, how many matchsticks do we need? We need 3. So you just write down, okay, figure number 1. Number of matchsticks, 3. And the next one, what about figure number 2? In figure 2, you can just count. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matchsticks. So here we write down 5. And then move on. For figure 3, we need 7. For figure 4, we need 9, right? So here, actually, do we really need to write down one by one until figure 12? Yes or no? No need, right? So actually, you see that this is just our first step. Try to draw a table to list out a few figure numbers and the number of matchsticks. And following the table, the key is to figure out the relationship here. Now, following this, you can try to observe. In figure 1, we need 1, 2, 3. Can you find these 3 matchsticks in figure 2 as well? Sure, we also have 1, 2, 3. And based on this, we have 1, 2. So actually in figure 2, we can also write it as 3 and then plus 2 times 1. And what about then move on to figure 3? Also, we have basic 3, 1, 2, 3. And then move on 1, 2, and also 1, 2. So actually, how many 2 matchsticks are there do we need to add? We need to add 2 times 2. So here, how can we get 7? For 7, actually that is a basic 3 and then plus 2 times 2. Now following this, what about the figure 4? For figure 4, that is you add another 2 matchsticks here. So again, actually we can turn that into 3 plus 2 times 3. And now, everyone, we can try to observe. Let's try to find the rule. So you see that no matter which figure number it is, actually we always have a basic 3, right? So 3 here, we just mark it in red. And then let's try to observe. If it is a figure 1, do we need to add any 2? No. So actually it should be 0. And what about if it is a figure 2? How many 3 do we need? That is, how many 2 do we need? That is 1. And then if it is a figure 3, how many 2 do we need? We need 2. And then what about the figure 4? How many 2 do we need? That is 3. So you can see that the number of 2 is always 1 fewer than the figure number, right? So following the pattern, we can know that when it comes to the figure M, actually how many matchsticks do we need? Well, firstly, we need a basic 3. And then we need how many 2? Is it really we need N2? No. You see that the number is always 1 fewer than the figure number. So actually it should be N minus 1. Now back to our question. Now the question is, what about figure 12? So here, maybe everyone, we can try to do it together. Firstly, how many matchsticks do we need? For the very, very basic part, we need 3, right? Okay, and then we know that as long as there is a new figure, we need some more 2 matchsticks. So how 2 are there? Actually, it should be 12. Is it 12? No, it should be 12 and then minus 1. Because actually for figure 12, 12 refers to the figure number, which is also the N here. Okay, the question is how to figure out the result of 3 plus 2 times bracket 12 minus 1. How to find the answer? Okay, so actually you see that when it comes to the calculation part, we need to follow the BODMAS rule. That is the 12 minus 1 here. We need to start from here. Okay, from the bracket, we have 11. And for the next step, you need to calculate the multiplication. That is 2 times 11. What can we get? We can get 22. Okay, and for the last step, you need to count addition part. That is 3 plus 22. So what is the final answer? The answer should be 25. Okay, is it clear? So now let's have a quick summary. When it comes to some completed figure pattern question, what should we do? Basically, there are 3 key steps. The step 1, that is we need to draw out a table to list out the figure number and the number of items. And for step 2, you need to identify a relationship between figure number and the number of items and generate a general formula. For the formula, you can try to solve the question, okay? And that is the last step. Well, based on this, maybe we can try one more. You can see this is the guided question on your book. Here are some patterns made with dots. How many dots would there be in pattern number 20? Okay, so what is the first step? Do you still remember? What is the first step? Yeah, try to count, try to observe, right? And then what do we need to draw? Yes, we are going to draw a table. Okay, so now you see, this is step 1. Draw out a table to list the figure number, dot number, and the figure formula. Actually, here I already show you the first 2 figures. When it is the first figure, you can see there are 8 dots. And if it is the second figure, we need 12 dots in total. Okay, and following this, everyone, please take out your pencil and try to fill in the table with Teacher Apple. Okay, and then it is figure 3. Okay, so for figure 3, can you try to count how many dots are there in total? I give you 10 seconds. Okay, try to count by yourself. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How many dots? Okay, good job. So here we need 16. Okay, so here everyone, actually, can you find something special? Look, for 8, 12, 16. It's the common for these numbers. Actually, they are all multiples of 4, right? So for 8, we can write it as 4 times 2. And then for 12, we can write it as 4 times 3. Okay, what about the 16? Can you find it? Yes, for 16, you can turn that into 4 times 4. Okay, next one, when it comes to figure number 4, okay, how many dots? Yes, you can try to draw it first. That is 20. And what is the figure formula? That is 4 times 5. Okay, now everyone, try to observe. what is in common for the formula part? Yes, you see that they are all multiples of 4. We have the 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. And what about the other part? Okay, when it is 1, we need to times 2. When it is 2, we need to multiply by 3. When it is 3, we need to multiply by 4. And then when it is 4, we need to multiply by 5. Okay, now I have a question. What about if it is a figure 5? Okay, the figure number is a 5. So could you please tell me that is 4 times what? 4 times what? Is it 4 times 5 again? No. So actually, you see, based on the figure number, we always plus 1, right? So if the figure number is 5, actually, oh, sorry. Okay, so actually, we need to multiply by 6. Okay, so for the second step, what should we do? Okay, now you can try to identify the general formula. What is the formula? We already know that the number of dots is always the multiple of 4. And how many 4 are there? Actually, it is always the figure number plus 1. So when it comes to the nth figure, actually it should be n plus 1/4 are there in total. Can you understand now? Yeah, so maybe if the number is super, super big. Okay, what about when it comes to figure 99? So could you please tell me how many dots are there? You don't need to draw one by one in a huge paper, right? No need. So actually we know that it should be 4 times brackets 99 plus 1. Okay, so this is the general formula. Okay, so following this, we can try to solve out the question. The question asks you to figure out how many dots are there in figure 20. So now we can try to apply our formula. Figure 20, that is now n equals to 20. So according to the formula, you can get it should be 4 times brackets 20 plus 1. So what is the final answer? 20 plus 1, okay? Because they're in the brackets, you need to start it here. 20 plus 1 equals to 21. And then multiply by 4, we can get the answer should be 84. Okay? Yeah, so this is the guided question. Again, there are 3 steps. The first one, observe and list out the table. Second, according to your table, you can try to identify the general formula. The last step, that is according to your formula, you can solve out the question. Okay, now maybe you can try the practice part by yourself. Study the pattern carefully. Pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 3. First part, try to complete the table below for pattern 4. I think it's not that hard for you, right? Because actually the question already have listed the first 3 patterns. In pattern 1, there are 6 sticks. In pattern 2, there are 11 sticks. In pattern 3, there are 16. Okay, what about the pattern 4? Pattern 4, that is maybe we just add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add 5 more, so you will get 21. Okay, and then try to summarize the formula here. What is the formula? You can see that actually for the first pattern, you can just divide it into 2 parts. The first part is 1. And then for the second part, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay, and what about for the second pattern? Again, we start from 1 and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. So actually how to summarize? We can also turn 11 into 1 plus 2 times 5. Okay, what about the number 3? When it comes to pattern 3, okay, again, we start from 1. Let's count how many 5 are there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good job. So now everyone, can you try to summarize the formula to me? Okay, how can we get a 16? That is 1 and then plus how many 5 here? Okay, good. It should be 1 and then plus 3 times 5, right? That is 1 plus 5, 5, 5. So actually we can write it as 3 times 5. And then the last one. Okay, how can we get to 21? I think now you already figured out the pattern, right? So that is based on 1. Okay, for the first one, that is always here. And then you need to add another 5. So how can we get to 21? It should be 1 plus 4 times 5. Okay, good job. Now, what is the formula? Can you get the formula now? Look, if it is a pattern 1, okay, we need a 1, 5. If it is a pattern 2, we need 2, 5. If it is pattern 3, we need 3, 5. Okay, so what about when it comes to the figure n? How many 5 do we need? Excellent. So it should be 1 plus n times 5. Okay, so this is the formula we can get. Understand? Okay. So now, for the second question, how many sticks are needed for pattern 50? Do we need to just draw exactly 50 patterns on my paper? No, because we already figured out the formula here. The number of sticks is always equals to 1 plus the number of pattern multiplied by 5. So here we can get, when it is pattern 50, actually n equals to 50. So what is the final answer? It should be 1 plus 50 times 5. Okay, here, actually everyone, pay attention. Because many students will get some careless mistake here. Okay, can we just calculate 1 plus 50 first? No. Okay, be careful, cannot. Why? Because when there is multiplication and addition at the same time, you need to start from multiplication part. That is 50 times 5, and then you need to add 1. So it should be, you get 250, then you plus 1. The final answer should be 251. Okay, pay attention to the order of calculation. So far, so good? Not that hard, right? Okay. Now, let's try a bit difficult question. Study the series of figures below. What is the difference between the number of shaded and unshaded triangles in figure 10? For this question, everyone, let's read it again. What is the question here? Do we need to figure out the number of shaded triangles only? Or do we just need to figure out the number of unshaded triangles? No. The question is, what is the difference between the number of shaded and unshaded triangles in figure 10? So actually in this question, for your table, you need to draw out shaded, unshaded, and based on these two parts, you need to count difference. Let's have a look. In figure 1, how many shaded triangles are there? Yes, we have 6. And how many unshaded triangles? Super easy for you. One left, one right. Okay, so here we have 2. Okay, so what is the difference between 6 and 2? The bigger number minus the smaller number, it should be 4. Okay, what about the second one? The shaded triangles. Yes, try to count. How many shaded triangles are there? Okay, yes, we have 12. And what about unshaded? Yes, we have 6. So what is the difference between 6 and 12? 6 and 12. Okay, it should be 6. And move on to figure 3. Here, how many shaded triangles are there? We have 20. And what about the unshaded triangles? There are 12. So in this way, what is the difference? 20 minus 12 equals to 8. Now, can you try to observe? Yes, what is the pattern of the difference here? From 4 to 6, from 6 to 8. So what is the next number for the difference part? Yes, you see, we always plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. So actually, you can see that. If it is the figure 1, do we need to plus any 2 here? No, the basic part is 4. And when it comes to the second figure, we need to plus 1, 2. It is just like the interval problem, right? So that is 4 plus 2, only 1, 2. And when it comes to figure 3, how many 2 do we need to add? 1, 2. So actually that is 2 times 2. And then you can get 8. For this, we can know that if it is the figure n, based on the 4, we need to add n minus 1 2's. Okay, pay attention to this part. That is, if it is a figure 100, actually that is 4 plus 99 times 2. Okay, the number of 2 here is always the number of a figure minus 1. Now we can get the answer. Okay, oh sorry. So when it comes to figure 10, actually what do we do? Yes, so now that is n equals to 10. Okay, let's have a look. If n equals to 10, we just calculate. It should be 4 plus what? Yes, 10 minus 1. So here you will get 9. 9 and then times 2. Again, where should we calculate first? Yes, when there is addition and multiplication, you need to start from multiplication part. So 9 times 2, we can get 18. 18 plus 4, the final answer should be? Yes, should be 22. Okay? Now, for the second part, this is about the working backwards. Okay, here is an example. Study the pattern below and identify which figure has 60 dots. Well, you can see that just now, we know the number of a figure and you try to figure out the number of items. But now, you know that here we have 60 dots. That is the number of items and you try to figure out which figure. That is figure number. Again, what should we do? Working backwards, that is again, actually firstly you try to figure out the pattern. And how can we figure out the pattern? Yes, we need to draw a table for figure number, item number, and the figure formula. Okay, here everyone, let's try to list one by one. And also you can see the table on your book. So in figure 1, how many dots are there? We have 6, right? Okay, and what about in figure 2? You can count, we have 9. And in figure 3, we have 12. And in figure 4, you can try to draw it by yourself. We have 15. And then you just focus on the number of dots. What can we see? Look, what is the gap between 6 and 9? Can you figure out? Yes, that is plus 3. Okay, and what about the gap between 9 and 12? Yes, again, we need to plus 3. And the next one, what about the 12 to 15? Yes, that is also plus 3. Again, I think it's very familiar to you, right? It is like the interval problem. So how 3 are there? Actually, we'll find that it is always the figure number minus 1. And also get another way, that is maybe it is easier to calculate. That is, we summarize that in 2. Look, how 3 are there in figure 1? That is 3 times 1 plus 1. And then how many dots are there in figure 2? That is 3 times 2 plus 1. And for this, we have 3 times 3 plus 1, and then 3 times 4 plus 1. In this way, it is more clear. You will find that when it comes to the figure n, actually for the common part, you just copy down, which is 3. And 3 times what? 3 times n plus 1, right? Okay, so also you can double check. If it is a figure 1, that is 3 times 2. And then when it is a figure 2, that is 3 times 3. And move on, 3 times 4, 3 times 5. Okay, so now following the pattern, you can solve the question. Again, let's try to summarize for such type of question. Again, we have 3 steps. Actually, it is very similar to the previous type. The first step is always to list out the figure number and the number of items. Why do we need a table? Because according to the table, you can find the relationship. Yes, and then you can generate the formula. And then for the last step, that is you can use your formula and work backwards to find the figure number. Let's practice one more. For number 6, this is also the guided practice on your book. Study the figures above, which figure requires 45 gray squares. So again, what is the 45 gray squares here? That is the number of items. And you are going to figure out the figure number. Okay, what is the first step? Do you still remember? Yes, draw out the table. Okay, let's try to do it together. When it is a figure 1, how many gray square number can you see? Okay, everyone try to count. I give you 5 seconds. How many? Yeah, this is so easy, right? Okay, so it is 9. Okay, and what about in figure 2? How many? How many gray square numbers do we need? Yes, 13, okay? So following this, what about the number 3? Yeah, because so far we have no idea. You just try to list out more, okay? What about figure 3? Okay, good. We have 17, okay? So following this, what about figure 4? Yes, 21. Now, let's try to observe for the gray square number. 9, 13, 17, 21. Can you find something very special? Yes, this is kind of the arithmetic sequence, right? Okay, from 9 to 13, we need to plus 4, okay? And from 13 to 17, we need to, yes, also plus 4. Okay, and move on from 17 to 21. Yes, always plus 4. Okay, good job. Okay, so here, let's try to summarize. So when it is the figure 1, do we need to add any 4 here? No. So the basic part is only 9 gray squares, right? So actually we can write it as 9 plus 0 times 4. There's no 4. And what about if it is the figure 2? How many 4 do we need to add? Yes, we only need to add 1 4. So actually that is 9 plus bracket. Okay, don't forget the bracket here. 9 plus bracket 2 minus 1 times 4. And then move on to figure 3. How many 4 do we need? Yes, also 3 minus 1. And for the last one, what about the 4th? Okay, that is 9 plus 4 minus 1. Okay, so in this way, try to identify the general formula. Now, when it comes to the figure n, can you tell me what is the figure formula here? Yes, what is the common part? 9. Okay, for 9, you just copy down. And then 9 plus what? Yes, okay, 9 plus bracket n minus 1 bracket. And then times 4. Okay, so now actually you see that for all the common part, you only need to copy down. Okay, and this is our general formula. And then back to the question. The question asks you which figure has 45 gray squares. Wow, this is the most challenging part. Here, everyone, we already know that the number of items equals to 45. What is n here? Some students just say, okay, I know that is 45 has a 45 gray square, is it? No, because now you need to figure out the figure number. So that is how to solve out 9 plus bracket n minus 1 times 4 equals to 45. Any idea? Okay, so here everyone, let's have a look. We already know that when it comes to the calculation part, we need to follow the BODMAS rule, right? And in this way, maybe you can just take this complicated part as a group. So could you please tell me what is the value of this group? That is 9 plus the group equals to 45. So what is the value of the group? Yes. So you will see that for this group, it should be equals to 36. And then again, when there is a bracket and also we have a multiplication part, where should we start from? Yes, we need to start from bracket, right? Okay, and then think backwards. That is, again, you can take the bracket part as a group. The group times 4 equals to 36. So could you please tell me what is the value of n minus 1? Yes. So for n minus 1, you will get 9. 9 times 4 equals to 36. And then n minus 1 equals to 9. So what about the n itself? Yes, it should be 10. 10 minus 1 equals to 9. And do you remember what is the meaning of n? N refers to the figure number. That is, figure 10 has 45 gray squares. Okay, pay attention. N minus 1 equals to 9. Some students just write down 9 here, but actually no, because n refers to figure number. So for n itself, you need to add 1 back. Okay, this part is a bit more challenging, right? Okay, let's try one more practice. The first 4 figures of a pattern are shown below. The table shows the number of dots used for each figure. So here, you can see the table on your book. In figure 1, how many dots are there? Super easy, only 1. What about in figure 2? Yes, we have 5. And what about in figure 3? Okay, we have 9. Okay, what about the figure 4? 13. Can you find any relationship between 1, 5, 9, 13? Yes, correct. Always plus 4. So again, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. I think now maybe you know how to figure out. Yeah, again, kind of like the interval problem. So if it is a figure 1, do we need to add any 4? No need. But what about if it is the figure 2? Yes, you need to add 4 in each corner, right? Okay, so that is 1 plus 2 minus 1. You only need to add 1 4 here. And when it comes to the figure 3, okay, let's count. Why do we only need to add 2 4? Because again, you see that based on the 4 corners, in each corner, you add 1 more point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see that? Okay. So following this, how can we get the 13? That is 1 plus bracket 4 minus 1 bracket and then times 4. So now, what is the formula? When it comes to figure n, how many dots do we need? Yes, we need 1 plus n minus 1. Okay, don't forget the brackets here and then times 4. Now the question again. How to solve 1 plus bracket n minus 1 bracket times 4 equals to 93? What should we do? You just take this complicated part as a group, right? Because again, according to the BODMAS rule, you need to count the bracket part and the multiplication part ahead of addition part. Okay, so what is the value of this group? 1 plus something equals to 93. So what is something here? Yes, it should be 92. And then for the bracket part, it times 4 equals to 92. So what is the value of n minus 1? What number times 4 equals to 92? Yes, it should be 23. Here, everyone, you can just apply the long division, right? 92 divided by 4. We start from tens place. 9 divided by 4 equals to 2. Yes, and then move on. Okay, and then can we just say n minus 1 equals to 23, so my final answer is 23? No, because the question asked you to figure out the figure number. What is your figure number? That is n itself. So n minus 1 equals to 23. What is n? N should be 23 plus 1, that is 24. Okay? Yes. So this is for the practice part. Okay. Do remember to add 1 back. Cannot just stop at 23 here. Okay. So the answer, 24. For the last one, actually for the last one later, I also want to share something interesting with you, okay? This is about the special number sequence. Okay, firstly, let's try to read the question together. The patterns below are made up of identical black and white squares. Which pattern will have 100 black and white squares? Firstly, read the question. 100 black and white squares. So here, everyone, actually you need to figure out the total, okay? You cannot only count the black part or the white part. Okay, first step, what should we do? Draw out the table. Okay, so in pattern 1, could you please tell me how many black and white squares are there? Yes. So actually you can just observe it row by row, right? For the first row, you can only see 1. And in the second row, we have 3. So it should be 1 plus 3 equals to 4. Okay, what about the pattern 2? Yes. 1 plus 3 plus 5 equals to? Yes, equals to 9. And move on, what about the pattern 3? Okay, we have 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 equals to 16. Okay, question. What can you find for the numbers 4, 9, 16? Actually, such numbers are very special. What can you find? Yes, all of them are square numbers, right? Okay, so how can we get 4? Actually, that is 2 times 2 equals to 4. And what about 9? How can we get 9? Yes, it should be 3 times 3. And how can we get 16? It should be 4 times 4. Okay, now the question is, we know that the sum is 100. Question, how can we get the number multiplied by itself? And then you can get 100. Any idea? What number multiplied by itself equals to 100? Yes. So it should be 10 times 10 equals to 100. So here, n plus 1 equals to 10. Okay, question, how can we get 10? Because actually you can also just observe we have 2 0 in the end. Okay, 10 times 10, and then you can get 100. N plus 1 equals to 10. So could you please tell me what is n itself? Yes, n should be equal to 9. So now you see that which pattern will have 100 black and white squares? The answer should be 9. Okay. And also based on this part, actually everyone here, look. For the number sequence like this, I want to explore more. So here, try to observe first. 1, 3, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 7. What is in common? All of them are odd numbers. Okay, so here, everyone, maybe you can try to take some notes here. So look, I show you some dot here. There is only 1 dot. And then we have 1 plus 3 equals to 4 dots. And also this is a square. Can you see that? For the square, we can write it as 2 times 2. And what about this part? Try to observe. That is 1 plus 3 and then plus 5 equals to 9. So how can we get 9? Also, you see this is a bigger square, which is 3 times 3. Well, move on, we can get 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7, right? You can just count this part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so what is the sum here? It should be 16. How can we get 16? Also, an even bigger square, that is 4 times 4. Now, for this, actually you can find that for all these numbers, you can just get it a square, right? So we just call such numbers as square numbers. And when it comes to the square number sequence, make sure that for the addition part, we need to start from 1. The first number is always 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then it gradually increases by 2. That is, all the numbers in the addition part is odd number. And what is the equation? We can make an equation, turn that into multiplication, which is the number of odds multiplied with itself. Okay, here, let's have a look. If it is 1 plus 3, how many odd numbers are there? We have 1, 2. So that is 2 times 2. So if it is 1 plus 3 plus 5, how many odd numbers are there? We have 3. So we can get 3 times 3. And move on, if it is 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7, how many odd numbers are there? We have 4, so it should be 4 times 4. Okay, so now let's have a look. What about if it is 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 and then plus 9? Could you please tell me the result in 5 seconds? Yes, you only need to count how many odd numbers are there, right? So how many odd numbers? Look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times 5 equals to? Yes, equals to 25. Can you understand? Okay. So in the end, actually here, I want to share 2 bonus questions with you. Okay, maybe you can have a try. Let's do it. Okay, what about 1 plus 3 plus 5? Everyone, could you please type your answer to me? Is it A or B or C? Okay, I give you a few seconds. Some of you want to choose C, right? I don't know, right? Okay, so here, you just count how many odd numbers are there. Yes, the first number, yes, is starting from 1. And all of them are consecutive odd numbers. We have 1, 2, 3. So it should be, yes, so it should be what? 3 times 3, okay? That is the number of odds multiplied by itself. Okay, the last one. 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 equals to what? Yes. Okay, so again, you just count. The first number is 1, and all of them are consecutive odd numbers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 consecutive odd numbers, so it should be 4 times 4. So you can get the answer is 16. Yes, super easy for you, right? Okay, so for the last part also, everyone, maybe you can take some notes, okay? Just to take 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 as an example equals to 4 times 4. Okay, so that's all for today's topic, okay? And also everyone, if you haven't got our book, please do remember to scan the code and register for the books, okay? We still have the last round, that is you can collect your book on 16th in June. Don't miss it, okay? Yes, do remember to scan the code to get your GEP math books. Yes. And also here, we offer the free mock test for P2 and P3 students. And also we have a free for trial classes. And if you are interested, everyone, please do remember to scan the codes as well. And tomorrow, again, I will share some P2 GP topics with you, okay? Okay, so later I will share the code in our group as well. See you tomorrow, everyone. Bye-bye.